Hey y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another weekly update, guys. I know I'm a couple days late on getting this out. It's been just super hectic at work and whatnot. I was also trying to get stuff situated and get the kind of the home office for me somewhat situated, and I think I'm gonna have it about as good as it's gonna get, to be honest with you guys. But let's get into this. Hopefully you guys have had a great week last week. Hopefully you guys are having a great week so far. I know, like I said, work is crazy busy, so I didn't get as much reading done as I would like. I also have not read one book in particular as much as I would have hoped. But you know what? It's a marathon, not a race. So let's get into it, guys. Kicking things off with where am I at? So what have I been reading? Well, I'm only 60 pages into it. I had to switch over to my paperback edition. Nothing wrong with the hardcover edition. I don't like holding the big hardcover edition. And this one, I kind of sit there and do whatever I want with it. I think I paid like $2 for this thing. So again, 60 pages in. Not a whole lot. I mean, stuff is happening. I've read this part probably like 5 or 6 times now. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it's taken me probably about 5 or 6 times of just trying to start from the beginning and continue on. I'm not sure if that was a smart thing to do here because I don't want to say I'm bored, but I'm like, okay, I've read this quite a bit enough times. I actually ended up pulling up the Audible version that I have on my phone and tried listening to it, and even that is not doing anything for me. Again, it's not that the first part of this book is bad or boring. I've read about 5 or 6 times now, so I'm kind of at a standstill with it. I know I need to keep going, that things will pick up, and I'll eventually get a good chunk of the way, 300 some pages in, and be where a spot that I haven't read. But again, first 300 some pages, I think is what it is. I've read 5 or 6 times now. So again, just trying to get through the slog of a part that I've read, again, that numerous amount of times. What I will say is, and what I want to point out on reading this, this picks up. This is not a slow-paced book at the beginning by any means. I read The Stand this year, and I felt like that had a little bit slower of a start than this by far, but yeah, again, that's kind of where I'm at with it, just kind of slowly chipping away at that. My big goal this week has been, or this last week, was The Shadow Rising, book number 4 in the Wheel of Time series. I've made a little dent in it. I am just a little over 100 pages into this behemoth 900 something page book. I think I checked earlier and I'm like 10 or 11% into the book. Not a whole lot is happening. I mean, there's stuff happening, but I don't want to give anything away. But again, even with if it's starting off slow, that's kind of common for Robert Jordan books so far from what I've read in this series. The first 3 books, I think the 3rd book has been the one that's had a little bit more action up front. But again, I'm enjoying this. There's some different aspects that he's taken this book. I'm not gonna lie, guys, and again, I don't want to spoil anything or anything like that, but I feel like this series, the more it's gone on, the more adult themes are coming up. Not that there's any like nudity or anything like that, but there's been some stuff that's happened in the last couple books, this one and the one before, that I'm like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting, and I don't want to talk bad about it or anything like that, make it seem like I'm talking bad about it, but not adult themes, I guess. There's he mentions bosoms in this book so far, so it's kind of throwing me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I wasn't expecting that after reading the first 3 books. I didn't expect that. But again, I'm enjoying it. The goal with this book was to try and finish it, in a month. But I have 2 months to read it, so if it takes me a month and a half, as long as I finish it, I think that's kind of what I'm going back and forth on, to be honest with you guys, is the first couple books I read in like a month, and then had a month where I was like, man, I really just want to read it, I really want to read it, I really want to read it, and I had to wait. Not that I think Bing or Dustin would, throw rocks at me if I started a little ahead of them on the next book. But again, I just, we have a set schedule. I want to stick to that. But at the same time, I don't think drawing it out and making it last, 2 months is going to be ideal because I don't want to get burned out on it. So I think a month and a half is probably what I'm planning on trying to get. that me to take on that. But yeah, next, guys, I did pick back up and start over Ghost of Honolulu. I am currently about 40 something pages into this. Was it 200 something page book? Just a little over 200 pages. So I'm enjoying this. Obviously I think I got to about 100 pages in last time before I stopped. But this is my nonfiction book pick of the month for me to read, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Jumping around reading the different genres have definitely helped me as far as just realizing, what, first part of some books are going to be just setting up and getting to understand stuff, especially with nonfiction. I'm realizing, and I haven't read a whole lot of nonfiction, but I'm realizing you have to set up the plan, you have to set up the story, and stuff like that. So again, I'm enjoying it so far. I've kind of been taking this in the morning with me. I drop my kid off early at daycare, and then I get to work, 20 to 30 minutes early. Just kind of sit there, take my time with this, read this. There's little footnotes here at the cliff notes, whatever you want to call them, footnotes at the bottom. So I kind of read those, just try to absorb as much as I can with this. And then next was I did pick up a book on my new Kindle, guys. Yes, I got a new Kindle. I posted, kind of a sidebar here, I posted, you know what, I'll save that. I'll save that for another video. But I picked up Billy's Guns. Oh, and I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank on the gentleman's name, and it's going to bug me. Give me 1 second here, guys. I know most people probably don't do this, but you know what? It's my channel. We all make mistakes, guys. I want to make sure I get the name correct on this. By Jack Martin. I knew it was a name I was going to try to remember. By Mr. Jack Martin, which is a pseudonym or pen name, if you will. I picked it up, like I said, kind of on a whim. And what I will say, and that review will be out, if not middle-endish of this week, it'll be out next week. I haven't figured it out yet. What I will say about that book is I'm not sure if it's still free, and I'm not sure if he's charging $1, $2, $3, whatever it is. What I will say is I would recommend going and picking it up. That's what I'm going to say and leave it at that. I will say that I did comment on the video that he had, so if you want a little bit of a spoiler alert, go find his video where he makes the announcement that the book is free on Kindle, and kind of see the little conversation that me and him had. He seems like a very, very nice gentleman and whatnot. And yeah, guys, I enjoyed that book enough. I picked up a couple more by him. But again, that's as much as I'm going to get into on that. But yeah, guys, that was what I read last week. What am I going to read, or what am I reading this week? Well, obviously, I am continuing Ghosts of Honolulu and just kind of chipping away at this slowly. Again, I just plan on this taking the whole month to read. Obviously, I could read it in less than a month, but I want to read it and enjoy it and whatnot. Highlight certain things, facts that stick out to me, numbers, stuff like that, statistics. I really enjoy doing that with nonfiction books. I feel like doing that helps me retain information and whatnot. So yeah, gonna continue Ghost of Honolulu. Going to also continue The Shadow Rising. Again, kind of taking my time with this, not really rushing it, but not trying to skip a day if at all possible. It is a big chunker. It is a brick, guys. In Home Alone 2, when Marv tells Kevin McAllister to suck brick kid, I'm pretty sure Kevin, after he ran out of bricks, if he would have looked around on top of that building, he probably would have found this and thrown that down at Marv. But that's going to be about it. I'm also going to pick up Thomas McNulty's book this week and give that a try. I'm kind of reading the Westerns as I go to bed. It's kind of wind down and whatnot. At least that's what I did with Jack Martin's book, and it kind of got me riled up. So we'll see. I have high hopes for Thomas's book, so I'm going to try to start that tonight. But yeah, guys, that's what's going on. Videos coming out this week, just kind of give you an idea. I do have some reviews. I'm going to be kind of putting this out there as well. I am going to be combining book 2 and book 3 of the Wheel of Time series in one review, just because it's been a couple months since I've read the second book, sorry. So going to be combining those into one. Also have a small little book haul that I want to show you guys Also, and I can't believe I forgot to put this in there as well, going to try and continue it as well. Again, kind of just slowly chipping away at that. I also have a video I posted something on the community tab saying possible rant video coming soon, and I got a couple responses. And what I want to say, and I do want to apologize, I deleted the post because I realized, you know what, I don't want this channel to be rants or anything like that. To the person who commented asking if the Kindle was that bad, it had nothing to do with that particular Kindle that the picture was of. It was a whole nother situation. It did have to do with Kindles, but not that particular one. But that leads me to another thing. I will have a Kindle review up on the new Kindle that I got. So yeah, guys, might show you kind of what the desk looks like now. I don't know. Trying to get these videos out when I can, when I have some free time. Obviously, you know, reading takes up a good chunk of my free time, if you will. But again, guys, that is it. Looking forward to more videos and putting more content out there for y'all. As always, y'all have a good one, and I will see you next time.